All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere episode of Zero Dark Nerdy, the most disrespectful pop culture podcast on the planet.
Goddamn right.
I'm your host, Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, and today I'm joined with...
your man Jadon, a.k.a. Jerry, a.k.a. Dr. Jerry U. Musk, BDS.
You got some
BDS.
extra titles.
BDS, my man.
saw
Don't
you.
leave me hanging on that.
Did you get that, University of Phoenix online?
You can't pick
Him and
your own
Shaq.
you can't pick your own nicknames.
Well, I put my name in the Wu-Tang generator,
Ooh,
Nice.
and it came up with
love it.
Murderer Strong.
Yes.
So this is Matthew, a.k.a. Murderer Strong, yo.
Murderer Strong. You know how that's how Childish Gambino got his name?
Yes, that's
Wu-Tang Generator.
That's why I did
Really?
it. Yeah.
Yep.
A.k.a. Cousteau, Pennsylvania. It's my porn name. And
I love that.
the best fucking thing ever.
Yes.
Yes. Cousteau, Pennsylvania is your...
That's a dope
That's
name.
my porn name.
Mine is Chance Doty.
Come on, buddy.
It's the name of your first pet in the street you grew up?
There you go.
Wow.
Chance Doty.
And the voice, that luscious voice you hear, this is Ryan Saba. Captain Cleveland, Browns, Cavs, Indians.
You ever get a inside boner, like when it goes in,
Yeah.
like negatively?
Yeah.
Innard.
The most
Innard.
the most succulent voice on the air.
Jordan is missing in action today. They had a show last night, My Brother Skylar. So shout out to Jordan and Skylar, of course, and Scotty
And I
Karate.
say,
So good.
And today we are going to be covering the 90s. We sent out some surveys. A lot of you filled them out. We definitely appreciate it. A lot more than the first survey we sent out. So obviously the fan base is growing now, which is good to see and hear. So everything from TV shows, movies, hip-hop albums, rock albums, all that fun stuff. And then in between, we're going to talk about some of our favorite years in the 90s as well and what made them stand out for us. So we're going to start off with our favorite 90s television show. The Gambit included Sabrina, Family Matters, X-Files, Beverly Hills 90210, Home Improvement, Seinfeld.
Difference doesn't make. Who cares if she doesn't like you? Does everybody in the world have to like you?
Yes! Yes! Everybody has to like me. I must be liked.
Full House, Friends, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and taking it, I wouldn't say by a landslide, because Saved by the Bell did come in second. It was relatively close, but our man Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, bringing it home.
That's right.
What I'll say
You
there,
can't deny it.
What I'll say there is, Fresh Prince has much more rewatchability.
Agreed.
You go back and you watch Saved by the Bell, man.
It's absurd.
It's horseshit.
It's absurd.
Like, I was obsessed with that fucking show, and when I try to go back and watch it, like, Miss Bliss was the best. Was the best actor the whole run of that show, and she was only on for like 9 episodes.
I don't know. I thought Principal
professional.
Belding was pretty good, though.
Belden was good.
Yeah, he was. Did he?
I like when they went to the
RIP?
beach.
I think so, actually.
Dennis Haskins. Is
Ooh,
that his name?
Government named him. Let's do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it is.
Any write-ins on that?
Write-ins, yes. Let me pull them up
So
real quick.
we can shit on those.
There was only 3 write-ins. Married with Children, but that was actually that came out in
That's a good one.
'89.
Paul Kai.
So, but
Okay.
still a great '90s show.
Paul Kai,
First
baby.
big Fox sitcom.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it was actually the one of 2, along with the Tracy Ullman show.
Yep.
That kicked off the Fox franchise.
Calling him,
Which
calling
kicked off The
names.
Simpsons.
Well, Tracy Ullman started on HBO, though, right?
I know it
And
was
then
on
went to
HBO.
Fox?
I think so.
Her
I think
comedy
so.
and stuff
She has
was on HBO.
specials on
Yeah.
HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Dawson's Creek was a write-in.
Fuck, that's got to be a joke.
And then New York Undercover.
Yeah, that's a
What
good
a
one.
great
That's a
show.
really, really
Friday
good
nights
one.
Fox.
I used to
That's
be
like-
late for work.
That was
watching that shit.
NYPD Blue for the Hood.
Yes.
That was
like
that was
the
The
awesome.
soundtrack of every show.
Yes, the soundtracks
You're a
were
little
dope.
older than me, so that was like middle school for me. So you must have been what, like sophomore year high school, maybe, when you were working.
I don't do
or were
that.
you, or were you working in, or were you like
I mean-
down at the bodega working
Yeah,
shit?
it's all what you consider work, you know.
Doing that work.
So, yep, Fresh Prince takes it home without a shadow
Why
of a
he
doubt.
don't want me, man?
Oh, yeah, that was, we had this discussion before. So we want to give a big shout out to Stan and On the One Studios.
Stan the
I got to
man.
say,
Stanislavski.
he does a phenomenal job. We tried to do this shit ourselves for a couple episodes and
The
not work out
Stanimal.
that great. So, Stan, thank you so much for all that you do and everything over here at On the One Studios. These guys have been
Stantastic.
truly,
Stan the man.
truly fantastic.
One of my favorite shows from the 90s was a sketch comedy show on MTV called The State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a couple seasons, right, on that?
I mean, shit, it was more than you think. I mean, it was like 5, I think.
Notables on that one.
Notable people?
Yeah.
Shit. Joe Latrulio,
Yes.
who's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine now.
That's right.
Isn't there a three-namer
Ken
on
Marino,
there?
who was on
There's always
Party
a three-namer.
Down.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Marino was on Party Down, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's in a bunch of them are in
Yes.
Wet Hot American Summer.
Yep.
He kind of always plays a scumbag.
Yeah.
So good.
Because he was also in Role Models. He was the dad of Augie.
yeah.
Ooh, David Wayne, like basically directed most of the stuff going on. He's the voice of the warden on Super Jail, and he's doing a shit ton of stuff too. Like they're all doing amazing. Tom Lennon, he's all over the place. He's on a bunch of shows.
God, your memory is.
It's a lot better than
You know,
mine.
he's not. This isn't even notes, folks. This is off the
No,
dome.
I'm
the
not
dome.
even looking down. Like, no, that show turned me into the wacky freak you see today. I mean, really, it's
Thank you, the
amazing.
state.
God bless
That-
the state.
Tom Lennon and his
Maybe I didn't
fucking,
watch enough of that.
It's
then,
so good.
because
I mean, don't get me
you're
wrong, it
fucking
was
weird.
out there.
Oh yeah, it was. It was
lot of
it was
them were
on
out
Kids
there,
in the
but they're
Hall
funny as hell.
type level shit.
Yeah.
That what is it? Shit, I posted it the other day. The U.S. men's bikini thong rollerblading team. It's like there are several reasons why we are not officially licensed by the Olympic Committee.
One show I actually forgot to put on here, and I'm surprised nobody wrote in. Now that I think about it, In Living Color.
Yeah,
That show is so
kicked off a
fantastic.
bunch
Where we
of
got Jim
careers.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey, the only white dude on the
Bunch of
show,
careers.
and then the Wayans brothers, and who else? Tommy
And
Davis.
then all the
Jamie
rest,
Foxx.
and then
Yep,
the
yep,
other
Jamie Foxx.
generations
Later
of
on.
Wayans.
J-Lo.
Yep, J-Lo. That's right.
J-Lo was the
Shaking
back
that
up
The
ass.
Fly
boss of
Girls.
the Fly Girls.
And then what was Sean Wayans' DJ name?
SW1.
SW1. Some great skits. If you've not seen In Living Color, please go check that shit out.
That Dave Chappelle
Tremendous,
shit.
tremendous sketch comedy.
He's like the Wayans brothers. What? There more?
The next category we got is favorite 90s cartoons, and your options are
Yes.
Rugrats, The Simpsons, Animaniacs, Batman Animated Series, Pinky and the Brain, Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, and Tiny Toon Adventures. This one was actually really, really close, and taking it by one vote was Darkwing Duck. Probably the biggest
Nice.
surprise of the survey to me.
I love Darkwing Duck.
That's silly.
The Batman animated series was that used to be on the afternoons, like after
Yeah.
school.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
So
that,
good.
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
That's actually
Fox had some great, great cartoon programming.
That animated series was the very first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, so
That
we wouldn't have Harley
in
Quinn
the
if it wasn't for
cartoon
that.
was the first appearance.
Yes, I recall.
And then she was such a hit that they put her in the comics.
Yeah, they sexed her
How
up
do you,
for
how do
the
you
comics,
miss with
though.
that?
She definitely didn't have ass and tits like that on the animated.
No, she was fully covered.
That was
How do
for
you
us
not? How do you
boys.
not go with the Simpsons though? Like that's groundbreaking stuff. And Animaniacs.
I
Yeah.
love that.
If you go back and watch that now, that show is way ahead of its
Oh, yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the very first cartoons where like,
Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Dot.
they were talking to the kids, but they were really talking to the adults.
Yes.
Adults. You know what I mean? Like they were talking to the parents. Like we feel for you.
That's why my parents
Laugh
watched
at
it
this.
so
That was a
much.
Fox after school as
Yes.
well.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yes, it was.
I'm surprised the X-Men cartoon didn't get on there.
It got a write-in. Yeah, I should have put that on the list. I kind of flew by this list. Doug got a couple write-ins. Daria and Beast Wars were the write-ins for
Daria.
that
I
one.
feel like, and I could be completely making this up, but I feel like I've read somewhere they're doing a live-action Doug
Oh,
Please
yeah.
don't.
movie. So
How are you going to get a green guy with orange
Roger?
hair
So be on the lookout
and a leather
for
jacket?
that.
For Patty Mayonnaise. Who would be your Patty Mayonnaise?
Ooh, that is a good question.
be my Patty Mayonnaise.
I would probably have to say, who's the chick with the really beautiful eyes that was in Baywatch? She's dating Zac Efron. I always forget her name. She was
Daddario,
in.
Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was in the
Dark
Rock,
hair.
the movie with the Rock.
Yes.
The other movie with the Rock.
Yes. I was like, there's a few of those.
The
shit ton.
but her debut, her best work was on the original season of McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, True Detective,
True Detective.
where she plays like Woody Harrelson,
Oh,
where she just episode one,
Yes.
tits, ass, everything.
Yeah.
He tosses her salad for all the kids.
How old is she?
She old enough.
Old enough to do that on camera.
She got that SAG card.
So check out season 1 of True Detective.
So who would be yours, Matthew?
My Patty Mayonnaise. I don't know. You just had a good one.
I just think she's fine. I put her in anything.
She is fine.
We went from Patty Mayonnaise to tossing salad. Only on Zero Dark Nerdy. Folks.
I prefer syrup.
I don't know.
That's right.
I prefer syrup.
Syrup.
Patty Mayonnaise. I don't know. Maybe
We'll get back to that.
What's that girl's name from Game of Thrones that got her head cut off at the end?
Who didn't get that?
Yeah. Head cut off at the end. Like, what season?
The very last season.
Oh, Melisandre?
Yeah, her.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. She did get her head cut
Or
off.
But she
Zazie
dusted.
Beetz?
She dusted like Endgame style.
No,
Yeah.
she didn't get her head cut off.
Yeah, the
she
mountain.
faded out.
Masande.
When she-
Masande.
Oh,
That's it.
Masande.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Game of Thrones fans.
Yo, she
Don't
is
strike me
in.
down.
She was in one of the last Fast and the Furious movies. It's like the hacker.
Yep.
She's fucking.
She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
You should see his
I think
face.
Grey Worm grew a penis just for her.
That might be the saddest part of that whole show is that Grey Worm never got to tap that motherfucking ass.
I never was
Yeah,
going
I was
to.
going to say.
Well, right, exactly.
Well, before we get into favorite 90s comic book movie, Saba, why don't you tell us about one of your favorite years in this wonderful decade?
This
as the 1990s.
this is good. I had a lot of fun with this one. This is a little wrinkle that DJ El Nino threw in at the last minute. I went with 1996. The first thing as I started doing my research when I was going through the years, 1996. Vibe magazine, 2 iconic covers in 1996, one of which you will see on our social media is the Live from Death Row Vibe cover with Suge,
yes.
Snoop, Dre, and Pac, and then the whole East versus West vibe cover with Biggie with kind of Puffy in the background, where it kind of outlined the whole East versus West beef before it really blew up. So that was kind of the first thing that I saw. Music was an outstanding year in 1996. Nas, it was written. Now, the one thing I want to say is before I start going down this list, a lot of the albums that I have on this list, some of them are it's more nostalgia than anything.
Sure.
I remember how I felt when I listened to them then. Like I feel like I have West Side Connection Bow Down on this list.
Excellent.
Like, I don't know. I feel like if I listen to that now, I'd be like, I don't know.
bumped this
It's
shit
still
out of
good.
that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still good. It's on my gym playlist.
Tribe Called Quest, Beat Rhymes in Life. Probably not one of their top 2 or 3 albums. Definitely not one of their top 2 or 3 albums. But it's Tribe Called Quest is one of my favorite groups. Redman, Muddy Waters came out that year. The Score, the Fugees' The Score, which was it's iconic even to this day. Ghostface, Iron Man,
Yeah.
Mobb Deep, Hell on Earth. The Roots, Philadelphia Half-Life. Now,
Oh, God.
it's funny because I just had somebody reach out to me a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, man, I haven't ever really listened to The Roots before, and I was listening to the podcast, and I want to get into them. Give me a list of your
seen 'em on
top
TV.
Roots, like your favorite Roots albums.
Nice.
Philadelphia Half-Life was 6th on my list, but, it was 6th. I'm sorry. Listen,
Jesus.
I don't. We can save that for another time.
We'll save that. Yeah. The debates.
But still, UGK Riding Dirty.
Yes.
Outcast, Atlians, and
Did
great
you say
year.
Atlians?
Yeah, what do you want me to
AT-aliens.
say? AT-aliens,
We still
whatever.
love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Great year for Tupac. All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. Well, not a really great year for Tupac.
It was an abrupt end to that.
Musically, it was a great year for Tupac. And then, the best, the final one, obviously Reasonable Doubt by the greatest rapper that from in my eyes, Mr. Sean Carter. Non-hip hop albums. Sublime, the self-titled album by Sublime, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, New Edition with their comeback,
The
Home
Lover
Again.
Boy.
Fucking Bobby Brown on the cover. Just if you watch the BET New Edition series, Bobby Brown was in a bad motherfucking place. And then Beck Odelay
Nice.
won a lot of awards.
Excellent
That was a great
choice.
year.
He's a super producer.
Yes.
He's incredible.
I love that, man.
Video games. I want to call one out. 96, Parappa the Rapper. Which if you go back to one of our early podcasts, Jordan out of the blue just starts rapping verses from
In the rain or in the snow.
Parappa the Rapper.
I really got to go.
Other notable video games, the original Tomb Raider, Madden 97, which is one of the best. That's where they incorporated
Who's on the cover of that?
Madden.
Oh, okay.
That was before they started doing. For several years, it was just John Madden. Then they started
Gotcha.
putting the athletes on
Okay.
there. The original Resident Evil, Tekken 2, and the Nintendo 64 came out that year. So Mario 64, Mario Kart 64. So that was a great year for video games. Movies, Broken Arrow, Sleepers.
Wow.
I love how you started with Broken Arrow.
I love it. The Mission Impossible reboot. Swingers, The Rock.
Nice.
Primal Fear. If you haven't seen Primal Fear, Richard Gere and Ed Norton, where Ed Norton plays this like split personality, but he's playing games with them. Great movie. Independence Day, come, Big Willie and your family on 4th of July
ID4.
weekend.
Yeah.
Twister, Fargo, Jerry Maguire. Shout out to Bob Sugar, one of my favorite movie characters of all time. The Romeo and Juliet remake, which I think stands the test of time when it
It's
comes
still
on.
good.
It's very good. A Time to Kill, Sam Jackson. I hope they die, and I hope they burn in hell. Space Jam, Happy Gilmore, Kingpin for fuck's
Yes,
sake.
that was my first DVD ever. Kingpin.
Fear, Cable Guy, and a notable movie that wasn't that great but had an outstanding soundtrack, Set It Off.
Okay.
TV shows. 96 was a great year for TV shows. If you look at sort of the shows that were prominent in 96 or in the 90s, 96 was a great sort of wheelhouse year so the shows that were on in 96, Friends, Seinfeld, Fresh Prince, the last season of Fresh Prince, which I feel like Fresh Prince stayed pretty consistent throughout, but the last season, there was some emotional stuff with them moving out and all that. The Simpsons, Home Improvement, love Home Improvement. Boy Meets World. Every Friday night, I would watch Boy Meets World. I have Topanga written right here in parentheses. I fucking love Topanga so much. Underrated show of the 90s, Frasier. If you haven't
Love
watched
Frasier.
Frasier,
That's Matthew's shit
go
right there.
back and watch Frasier.
watch every
His
season.
brother, that show
They're
is
hilarious.
outstanding. They're rebooting it, by the way, on Netflix.
With Frasier?
Yes,
Okay,
with
good.
everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I feel like, this was 96, 95, 96, 97, Baywatch's prime years. Pam Anderson, I think she just got her second boob job in 95 or 96. That's prime years. 90210. And then another underrated show that I really, really liked, and there was 2 iterations of it in the 90s, Spin City.
Yeah.
90s, 96.
Oh, the Michael J. Fox one.
90s,
I like the Michael
but
J.
it
Fox
was
one.
still good when Charlie Sheen came in.
It was.
But this was the first season of Spin City. That is 96. It is my favorite year of the 90s.
Excellent. That was
was-
good. That was good. You got the audience for that one. Good Lord. Audience participation.
I'm over here scrambling.
I know, right? Going into your favorite 90s comic book movies. Some of your choices are, I'm not going to do every single choice for every single category, but pretty much I'll tell you who it came down to. And this one was close and went back and forth a lot. So it came down to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Men in Black, The Crow, Batman Returns, and Blade. And taking it
Was
home.
it a landslide?
It wasn't a landslide. This was actually really close. Men in Black and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tied for second, but coming in first, Jordan Brown's favorite movie of all time, Blade.
Blade.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Blade was fucking outstanding. I saw Blade at the Oak Hollow Mall
Oh, wow.
on a Thursday
R.I.P.
night. That movie, I mean, it was great.
It was groundbreaking.
Rewatchability. There are talks, rumblings.
Mm-hmm.
They are working on a Blade reboot. Wesley
Yeah, with
Snipes.
Mahershala, I think.
Wesley's in
Jordan
the,
just filled the cup.
Yeah. Wesley's in the media kind of campaigning for it. Reminds me a lot of what what Martin Lawrence was doing with Bad Boys before they came back to do Bad Boys for Life. They just finished shooting on they wrapped shooting on that a couple weeks ago, and they actually gave them 2 additional. So you're going to see Bad Boys 4, 5, and 6 over the next 3 or 4 years. I have a feeling you could see that happen with Blade as well, with a Blade reboot.
Yeah, what I've heard about that is they're going to try to, and of course, just like you said, this is rumblings, that it's going to kind of transfer over, that he's going to be in it, but it's going to be more of a passing of the guard to, I guess, something like his daughter or something like that.
Who the fuck wants to see that?
So, hey, this is just the rumblings that I heard. So,
Listen,
that's
man,
just
that
what they
is
said.
like
Tell us how you really feel.
that's like these days that's option 2, right?
Right.
Like let's either
I
do
don't
like
know.
a full reboot where we got the guy or the
Right.
or the gal,
Right.
Or let's do the whole passing of the passing. Give me one instance where the passing of the guard thing worked. Where it
As
hit.
far as comic book movies?
and comic book movie.
Well, before the disaster that's been Dark Phoenix, I mean, I thought they did well with First
Did you see
Class.
I didn't see that.
I haven't
But
seen
that's
it, but
not a
it's
passing of the guard. That's a prequel. That's
Yeah, but then they
buyout.
fucked the whole
That's
time.
a fucking buyout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that to themselves.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, by the way, the lowest opening comic book movie in the history of comic book
Damn,
movies.
Sansa?
It only made
Damn
19.
it.
It only made
Sansa
$19
Phoenix.
million last week.
Holy shit.
19 million.
I still want to see it.
I still want
I'll
to.
I don't
wanna
want to
pay
check
to
it
see
out.
I'm gonna watch that. Right. I'm gonna watch that shit on Netflix. Actually, that might be a TNT for me.
They know drama.
They know drama. Damn, Sansa.
But yeah, that's the rumblings about Blade, quote unquote. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously this merger between Fox and Disney is exciting, and we'll have to wait and see how that plays out for X-Men, Fantastic Four,
What were the
and
writings?
Blade, and all that stuff.
Blade was the
Write-ins.
awesome, the best.
Actually, there were no
comic
write-ins
book
for that one.
Give us your.
Wait,
give us your
Tracy
thoughts.
actually got 2 votes for their, which was shocking to me.
Pacino won an Academy Award for that.
He did.
Or he was
Yeah,
nominated.
I think he was nominated.
Oh, Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he won.
Not a great movie.
So
He
that
was
got-
the best
that got-
part of
That
it.
got more
He
votes
was
than
good.
Spawn. Spawn only got 1 vote.
Oh,
which
Michael
to me
Jai
was-
White, man.
Yeah, I ain't
bad
fucking with
man.
him. He's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Martin Sheen in there, too. Is
Martin
God.
Sheen was
Ah,
in Spawn. It's
yeah.
been a
Yeah.
while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
The Mask was awesome too.
Yeah.
The Mask was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
The Shadow, not so
Cameron
much.
Diaz.
Yeah, I didn't like the Shadow.
That was like slutty
The
Cameron
Shadow knows.
Diaz days.
Oh, that was
debut.
You
debut.
know what I mean?
That was debut. Yeah.
Like she kind of has
was
cleaned
thick
up
Cameron
over the
Diaz.
years. Yeah, she was thick. She was thick up top.
How many C's?
She
is
still
that?
didn't have no ass.
How many C's is that?
But yeah, no write-ins for that one. Moving on to the next one, favorite 90s hip-hop album. So, of course, this one was pure torture, and actually the write-ins, I think
Torture,
somebody actually
motherfucker.
wrote in pure torture. Went back and forth as well. Let's see, between Fuji's A Score, Outkast, ATLians, or as Saber likes to say,
Atlians.
Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
I just say it like it's written on the fucking.
Hey,
That is the
cover.
first time I've ever heard anybody say that.
I've heard it called Atlians before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how it's written.
Dr. Dre, The Chronic, Wu-Tang, Enter the 36 Chambers, Notorious Big, Ready to Die, and Nas Illmatic. This one, again, back and forth. And actually, this one ended in a tie. So coming in at first was Dr. Dre, The Chronic, and Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Friggin' West Coast tie. Who are
And
you
we're
people?
all East Coast fans here, too, for the most part.
Do
I
we
mean,
want to break the tie?
We do want to break the tie here.
Between the two,
Yeah.
the Chronic.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's open for
Yeah, that's
discussion.
not. That's
Even
not,
as a double disc, I'll still take The Chronic all day over All Eyes on Me.
The Chronic is
For sure.
is what made me fall in love with hip hop music. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I said it on
Back in middle school.
our hip hop
Yeah.
episode. Is there any write-ins?
Reveal my age
Anything?
there.
No.
No, like I said, it was mostly people complaining that it was like choosing between their kids.
Which makes sense.
I can't pick because it would be like Killing Puppies was a write-in.
Jeez.
And
That was-
Notorious Big, Life After Death, and then Spearhead Home was a write-in.
Spearhead Home.
Spearhead and
Come on,
Home. Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Now you knew.
So that's what we got for the hip hop albums. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's even a contest.
Liquid
To me,
Swords.
Tupac, All Eyes on
Liquid
Me really isn't even my
Swords.
top 5. Oh yeah, I mean this could
Yes.
go on for days. Obviously, the albums that could have gone on here and what could have won, but. I think one
God, yes.
that defines the 90s is going to be Dr. Dre, The Chronic, just putting the West Coast on the map. The combination of between him and Suge, and then of course signing an Interscope with Jimmy Iovine and having that dude in his ear helping him out
For the masses.
Taking
No,
over the world.
No,
after
no
that.
country grammar right in on there.
No love for St. Louis.
My
St.
message-
St.
Oh my
Lunatics.
God.
Take your Stanley Cup and get out of here.
That's right. Shout out to
Your
the
people
newest
went crazy over country
champions
grammar.
in sports, the
Oh, yeah.
St. Louis Blues and the Toronto Raptors.
Yep.
The Asterisks with the Toronto Raptors. You fucking... Fuck you. Fuck you, Kyrie. It's Kyrie's fault, man. Cavs would have won that fucking championship the other night. Anyways, go on.
Oh no.
I digress.
We're gonna go to Matthew now, talking about his favorite year from the 90s.
All right, so 1995, instantly, because that's when hip hop changed for me. I was already a fan, but it just elevated to a height that I didn't even know was possible. So I'm going to start with Cuban Links, only built for Cuban Links. The Purple Tape. That's one of my, if not my favorite hip hop album of all time.
The most stolen CD in the history of CD.
And tape.
And tape.
Borrowed.
You should look up the Purple Tape on
In
eBay.
1995, these albums dropped. Only built for Cuban Links. Liquid Swords. The dirty version, Return to 36 Chambers.
Wow.
Okay, so that's 3 Wu-Tang
Yeah.
CDs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solos. The infamous Mobb Deep. Smith & Wesson, The Shining.
Oh God, great album.
AZ, Do or Die.
So
which is
fucking
really good. I still bang that.
Still rock that on Friday
bang
nights
that.
at Sud. Shout out to Sud.
Bone, Thugs and Harmony.
Wow.
East
Cleveland's
1990.
own.
Yep. Big L. The Roots, Do You Want More?
Do you want more?
Which is my favorite Roots album. I'll put that out there.
We'll definitely have to
Group
have a Roots
Home. Master Ace. I was bumping Master Ace real
I
hard.
was bumping that the other day, sitting on Chrome.
Yep. Cool G Rap, Onyx, and DOS Effects. Look at all the shit. Like this was like New York
Yeah.
screaming at everyone.
Yep.
And they listened.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was
that was the
amazing.
response to the whole West Coast G-Funk thing that
Right.
came out. Oh, what Chronic came out in 92?
92 or 93. Let me double check that.
Well, and then Doggy Style came out the next year. So what if it 93, 94, right? Maybe. So this would be like the
92.
It was a resurgence.
Then
It
Doggy
was-
Style came out in 93. So this
Yep.
would be sort of the clapback from the East Coast on that.
It was Rap City days.
Oh yeah.
Big Tig, shout out.
Hell yeah.
Basement.
It's your boy Big
Tigger.
Tigger.
Basement.
Before Tigger, it was Joe Claire.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You
forgot
always
the girl's
know.
name.
You always know so much more than me.
You always gotta
I like
know
hearing
everybody.
that.
It's one of the only people I'm around.
Big
makes me
Les,
feel
was that Big
stupid.
Les? I think that
I
was
think
her
that's
name.
right.
Big Les.
Yeah.
And Joe Claire. That was great. I won't go any further than that, but that was fantastic. The movies from 1995: Toy Story,
So good.
7,
What's in the box?
Usual Suspects,
Wow.
Bad Boys,
Larry.
Brian's favorite Demon Knight,
Hell yes, that was my first
movie.
ever movie poster. Actually,
God, that shit's
Billy
great.
Zane fan club right here.
Tommy
Zip it,
Boy,
Zane.
Jumanji, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
That's the best Die Hard.
It is the best Die
God,
Hard.
yeah.
Hands down.
Why you keep calling me Jesus?
That's what he called you, right?
I said, hey, Zeus.
Motherfucker.
Zeus.
You got a good Bruce Willis thing going on there. It sounded pretty good.
That's what I got. But 1995 for me was me coming into hip hop and like being really proud about it because it all came from home, and it certified what I was into,
Right.
and it made sense to more people than just me.
Right.
Like it clicked,
Yeah.
and it was worldwide, especially with the Wu. So the 1995.
Ooh, I love it. You got another one. These guys are bringing the heat today. I love it. I mean, they bring the heat all the time, but I love hearing all the years though, and like
Murderer
like,
Strong.
what's going on. It's the 90s obviously are it's one of our favorite decades, so we're gonna be passionate.
Can
about
I
this shit.
rap? Man, I spit hot fire.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of our 2-part I Love the 90s podcast. Be sure to check out our website, popculturepodcast.com, courtesy of our good friends over at Zibster. That's ZIBSTER.com. They make fantastic websites. They're wonderful people. Be sure to hit them up for all your website and SEO needs. On behalf of Saba, Mateo, and Jadon, this is Brian saying see you next week, and be sure to tune in on the next episode.
Yeah! Victory! And anger management? Fuck anger management.